to the collapse of major industrial concerns, especially automobile companies in Bauchi, Oyo, and Kaduna states. He said steps have now been taken to avoid such mistakes in the nation's quest for economic diversification. President Buhari, who spoke about concerted efforts by his administration towards revitalizing Nigeria's steel industry, assured potential investors of not only the safety but high returns on their investments. Leader of the delegation, Jeff Nemeth, said members of the team are ready to unlock the nation's investment potentials through strategic cooperation and partnership. He, however, made a case for investor-friendly regulatory framework for sustainable manufacturing.
We both have KD manufacturing operations in Nigeria today, right? So we've already demonstrated a commitment to Nigeria through those operations, and we aren't here to announce any further investment today, but we believe that with the proper framework, promotion framework for the automotive industry, that future announcements will be forthcoming.
I think the important thing is that they're here to work with us to invest in Nigeria.
Members of the team have earlier met separately with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, the economic management team, and other stakeholders. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Still on investments in Nigeria, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria's investment projections, both foreign and local, are very promising. Speaking with media shortly after participating in a presidential policy dialogue in Lagos, the Vice President says government policy on having a business-friendly environment has opened the gate for foreign investors in the country, citing the Calabar-Lagos rail line and the Lagos-Kano rail line, which he says are already attracting foreign investments into the rail transportation sector. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has details.
The Vice President says the country, with an estimated 170 million people and a very vibrant economy, is certainly a new bright for investors. He says a number of foreign investors have shown interest to invest in the country, while some others already exist.
There's no question at all that the government is completely committed to diversification. That's why we have the ease of doing business, the Presidential Council on Ease of Doing Business. That's why we're, trying to speak to the whole agro-allied value chain, aside from just agriculture itself. That's why we're paying particular attention to even developing the petrochemical industry, supporting massive investments in tomato, supporting by incentives and all of that in tomato, massive investments in the production of rice, production of wheat, and several other agricultural products, with a view to diversifying, deepening the diversification of the economy. So I think we're on course in terms of the general framework for diversifying the economy. There are many challenges, but I think we're on course in terms of the framework for it. Yes.
He says government is hoping that the flexible exchange rate will encourage foreign investments. Everyone, he says, knows that Nigeria is the next frontier for investment. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
As part of ongoing operations to clear remnants of Boko Haram terrorists in the northeast, troops on Sunday during a patrol around Mopol and Bokos general area killed a Boko Haram terrorist and recovered 5 bicycles, wheelbarrow containing sack of foodstuffs, and a Techno mobile phone. A statement from the Acting Director of Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman, says with surveillance on IDP camp in Bama, 23 persons were intercepted who claimed to have escaped from Boko Haram terrorists in Bula Musa general area, while in Dikwa, 37 persons from Gulumbagana village were screened and admitted into Dikwa IDP camp. The troops, in conjunction with the civilian JTF along Nigeria-Cameroon border, have also arrested 2 fleeing Boko Haram terrorists identified as Mohammed Mudinga and Ahmed Ali, with 2 others killed and 1 sustaining gunshot wounds during an encounter in Zankari village. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Air Force has described the recent video released by Boko Haram terrorists alleging the killing of Chibok schoolgirls by its fighter jets as mischievous to draw public attention. A statement by its Director, Public Relations, Group Captain Ayodele Famuyiwa, urged that the claim evidence and that supposed casualties are as a result of air-to-ground attacks. It stated further that the video clip is a make-up story to discredit the service and to whip up sentiment to discontinue the use of air power, which has proved very effective. It restated commitment to ensure only legitimate military targets are engaged through intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions. The Nigerian Navy has handed over a suspect, one Grace Nkoyo Nwabuzo, to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, for impersonation and fraud. The Chief of Naval Staff, represented by Commander Naval Unit, says the suspect was arrested by the Navy town site in Asokoro, Abuja. Isaac Nkuma reports.
The suspect, Grace Nkoyo Nwozo, also known as Grace Nwozo Chris, a level 12 officer in the Office of the Head of Service, has been on the ICPC wanted list for over a year for employment racketeering. Luck, however, ran out on her when parading herself as a representative of the Chief of Naval Staff and soliciting the sum of 200,000 naira from unsuspecting contractors, promising them contracts at the ongoing Navy Town project at Sokoro.
Mrs. Nwazo operated from our office somewhere in Gudu, Apo. Our office was searched and some documents were recovered, amongst which were receipts of payments, company profiles, and structural or layout designs of the Nigerian Navy town, Asokoro.
One of her victims, a foreign national, was in the process of paying her 50 million naira before she was arrested.
We follow the rule of law, we will keep as time limits permits, and we intend to wrap up the investigation as soon as possible. Then, if she needs to be charged to court, she will be charged to court.
The naval authorities say proper investigation will be carried out to ascertain if it was an inside job. Meanwhile, in its continued crackdown on activities of illegal refineries and pipeline vandals, the Nigerian Navy has destroyed 103 drums of illegally refined diesel, a boat and 2 motorcycles along Ikoimo community in Akwa Ibom State and Jones Creek in Delta State. Similarly, the Navy has arrested a marine vessel, MV Star Shrimper, for allegedly attempting to evade interrogation when intercepted by NNS Mwamba on 13th August. The vessel and its crew are currently being investigated. From the Naval Headquarters, Abuja, Isaac Nkuma, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has assured international and local human rights groups of appropriate response over the report of the judicial inquiry into the clashes between members of the Shiite movement in Nigeria led by Sheikh Ibrahim El-Zakzaki. A statement in Abuja, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, says President Buhari's commitment to human rights remains unchanged because it is a cardinal component of the democratic order. It will be recalled that when the clashes occurred in December, President Buhari had told the nation during the presidential media chat that he was awaiting the outcome of the report of inquiry into the incident before making appropriate response. The Buhari administration believes in due process and the rule of law. Therefore, any response to the report will follow this principle, adding that the federal government will continue to act in the larger interest of the public to prevent such violent incidents. The Nigerian Army has maintained that the incident of the 3rd August 2016 in Boso local government area of Niger State, which led to the death of 11 personnel of the Nigerian military in an encounter with suspected gun runners and armed bandits, was in line with the rules of engagement. The Chief of Administration, Nigerian Navy, Major General Adamu Abubakar, explained this in Abuja at the 4th Dialogue of the National Human Rights Commission and the Nigerian Military on Human Rights. Aliyu Tukur has the report.
The dialogue is organized to give account of the military operations in the country, especially the current fight against insurgency and militancy in the northeast and south-south. Speaking at the dialogue on the Baso incident, Major General Adamu Abubakar said the military personnel are on legitimate official duty when they came under simultaneous and sporadic shootings by suspected gun runners and armed bandits, which is contrary to statements attributed to some questionable vested interest.
It is time for us to think about the nation first before ourselves. There is so much for us to do.
Executive Secretary of the Commission, Professor Bem Angwe, while commending the military for their courage and efforts in sacrificing their lives to maintain peace in the country, also urged them to strike a balance between security and human rights.
Why we will not shy away from apportioning blame where facts reveal some forms of misconduct.
I also commend the Nigerian military for also subordinating themselves to civil authority and abiding by the rules of engagement.
The Executive Secretary also submitted a draft 2017 National Action Plan for the promotion and protection of human rights to the military for their input. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has assured organizers of the African Music Award that his ministry will support this year's edition of the award. The minister stated this when he received in audience a delegation that came to intimate him with preparations so far made. Anthony Forson reports.
With the present drive to formalize the creative industry, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed said there is a need to integrate it as one of the nation's economic growth contributors because it has the capacity to create wealth.
The creative industry has turned the fortunes of many countries around. There are many cities in the world today, like California, like Mumbai, that thrive just on the creative industry. California's economy is about the fifth in the entire world and is built largely around the creative industry. This is the perception through which we should see the creative industry.
Citing the development of the creative industry as part of his ministry's mandate, Lai Mohammed said the opportunities that abound in the sector is further being expanded with the broadcast digitization project, which will eliminate piracy.
It means very soon nobody's going to have CDs or DVDs to carry about. It's because they have the DVDs, that is why they are pirating your work.
Leader of the delegation and head of culture at the Africa Union Commission, Angela Martin, told the minister that AFRIMA is supported by the AU Commission as part of its mandate to achieve its policy tool in promoting culture on the continent. President of Africa Music Award had earlier told the minister that the event, which is billed for November, will be hosted by the Lagos State government and that they will require the support of the federal government in using the National Theatre for their rehearsals. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
From music to labor matters, the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has urged the National Health Insurance Scheme to include community health insurance coverage and other critical illnesses under the health insurance scheme. NLC President Ayuba Waba stated this when the leadership of the NHIS visited Labour House over complaints by workers on health services. Labour correspondent Emmanuel Ayimiro reports.
Although the NLC President Ayuba Waba appreciates the challenges of the NHIS, he reminded the leadership of the agency that workers forfeit 10% of their health allowances to enjoy the health insurance services. But when workers' funds are diverted for other purposes by health management organizations, workers may find it difficult to access health care services.
We have written against using the fund to fund the building of primary care centers because that's not the mandate of National Health Insurance Scheme. It will not require administrative process when a worker is sick to be able to write before his capitation is paid because it's fee for service. And therefore, I think it should be exempted from the TSA.
NHIS boss, Professor Usman Yusuf, who said the agency is aware of lack of drugs, overcharge or non-refund, and other issues associated with the scheme, promised to step up enforcement.
I will make a very strong enforcement department in the NHIS that will hold any practitioner, any facility, or any HMO that does not live up to its contractual agreement with the enrollee.
NHIS has spread to 7 states of the Federation. In Abuja, Emmanuel Ayimiro, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google's Play Store. or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still ahead, PDP National Convention, to be or not to be. Details after this break.
Successful political change must begin to improve people's daily lives. That is the democracy dividend Nigerians have waited for. But no one should expect that all the damage done over a generation can be undone in a year. Real change demands perseverance and patience. It demands openness to honorable compromise and cooperation. It demands support on a constant basis from the people of Nigeria and from your friends abroad. That does not mean being patient with corruption or injustice, but to give up hope because change comes slowly would only be to hand a victory to those who do not want to change at all. Remember something we Americans have learned in over 224 years of experience with democracy. It is always and everywhere a work in progress.
How come my credit has finished on this short call, but I had like 500% bonus credit?
Oh yeah, Yellow, take. Use my 500% bonus. We no go swallow all your credit.
See your mouth like swallow. Your own phone no get credits now.
You don't expire? Something when I recharge yesterday.
Hey yo, now I'm gonna tell you something. Etisalat is where it is. You know what I'm saying? Because I enjoy better bonus every time I recharge, and it lasts for 7 days.
Oh, where una from come? Na better follow my brother dey tell una.
For real, man.
For Etisalat, every recharge wey pass 100 naira go give you 250% bonus, and you go begin dey call like say you dey sleep on top water.
Chop correct awoof wey go last, and you go enjoy am well well with super recharge bonus. Go buy your Etisalat SIM now to enjoy better airtime to call any network.
I don't switch go Etisalat now. I may we just dey talk dey go. Where papa? Mama uncle? Oh yeah, I want hear the dog back. The cat uncle, make him meow.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Chief, I agree. Every family must send a representative for vigilante.
Insurmountable Sergeant, we are finished.
Chief, now we go take escape now.
No way to escape. The problem is how you go fit dodge the surround of the flood water. Line Sergeant on a flood water.
Chief, wallahi, flood don't finish up everything but my house, wallahi.
Ayua, a sticker does not choke a man into twice in one eyes. The damn people NEMA, National Emergency Management Agency, had repeated warning upon on top of warning. Never you build a house upon on top of track road of flood. To securize your life and property, avoid the true way of dirty in gutter and waterways to avoid blockage. Join hands today in the clear of dirty in gutters and drainages. If you are living in a house in waterway, once it's a rainy season, pack out to upland to securize your life. A stick in hand, a service number.
This message is from National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, and Presidential Committee on Flood and Rehabilitation.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, has scheduled to hold the first technical committee meeting on 2016-2017 admissions to all tertiary institutions as follows. Date, Monday 22nd to Friday 26th August 2016. Venue, Bayero University, Kano, New Campus. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. Daily. Admissions officers of universities, polytechnics, monotechnics, colleges of education, and innovation enterprises are by this notice requested to come with their admissions recommendations for processing. Professor Ishaq Olarewaju Oladele, Registrar and Chief Executive Announcer.
Glow is in the air. It's data. It's what you use every time you download music. It's what streams movies. It's what the banks use to check your account.
It's the very lifeblood of modern living. Data. And where does it all come from? According to industry sources, more and more of it came from here. They acknowledge that Glow is now the largest data network in Nigeria. With your own Glow One submarine cable linked seamlessly to tens of thousands of kilometers with your own fiber optic cable. Glow can provide a huge data capacity anywhere at a more flexible and affordable price than anyone. It's simple. So you see, Glow is in the air. It's everywhere. Say hello to the Grandmaster.
Join Glow to jollificate with 8 times the value on every recharge, plus free data to give. Every recharge allows data and voice.
The largest data network, Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
It's truck month at Ford, and we've got a Ranger just for you. Vincent, here's the Workhorse 2.5 petrol single cab with free Ford Protect, a 4-year, 120,000-kilometer service plan. Or the 2.5 petrol-based double cab with 800mm water wading capability, available in manual transmission and with free Ford Protect. So while stocks last, visit Kostaris Motors today. Because, wait for it, thanks Vincent, we've got a tough Ford Ranger just for you.
Bayes University Abuja offers world-class education, uninterrupted academic session, and promising degrees for a sustainable job. Bayes University Abuja is affordable and delivers quality with experienced international staff, superb facilities, overseas external examiners, and a serene academic atmosphere. We offer quality and affordable education, and students are within easy reach of their parents here at Bayes University Abuja. So learn to live at Bayes University for a brighter future. For more information, visit our website at www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng or call 081 3376 9657 or 081 3376 9658. Bayes University Abuja. Learn to live.
If we have lost the opportunity of 15 years, let us no longer lose any opportunity for the future. Our alternative is agriculture immediately and solid minerals.
We should be appreciative of the president who has again diverted attention to this issue of agriculture.
The present administration is determined to go back to planning, identify priorities beforehand. When money comes, it is applied to that purpose. You can see the results.
We are determined to rehabilitate our country, especially for our children and our grandchildren.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. All is now set for the PDP National Convention in Port Harcourt on Wednesday. Kingsley Amajiri reports that various committees of the PDP are putting finishing touches to their preparations to ensure a hitch-free national convention.
The Port Harcourt National Convention of the PDP is currently threatened by an Abuja Federal High Court order which suspended the convention, though another Federal High Court in Port Harcourt gave its approval. The Shark Stadium is to host the Wednesday's National Convention, with party flags and candidates' posters already adorned in the venue. Security has also been beefed up within the stadium. Some party leaders told NTA News that they are resolute in holding the convention, stressing that 2 court judgments in Abuja and Port Harcourt have before now given approval to the Senator Ahmed Makrafi-led committee to go ahead with the convention.
As far as we are concerned, that was an interim order. What was given here was an interlocutory order that the convention should go on. So we are going ahead. We believe that we have not violated any law.
In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the factional national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senator Ali Modu Sharif, says whatever the outcome of the party's convention in Port Harcourt, it will be null and void. He stated this at a media briefing in Abuja. Abdullahi Garba bin Nkudu reports.
Coming on the heels of a federal high court order in Abuja in his favor, Senator Sharif advised those heading for the national convention to cancel their trips. Commenting on another judgment in the favor of Ahmed Makarfi committee from a federal high court in Port Harcourt, the factional chairman blamed the committee of flame politics with the judiciary.
Whatever they do, it is illegal. For me, it's not acceptable. And we will continue. I will not recognize any of this gathering. I will pursue the rule of law until justice is done.
He therefore appealed to the Chief Justice of Nigeria to intervene in the imbroglio to save the judicial process from the hands of politicians. Senator Sharif said he will willingly quit the chairmanship if he is allowed to hold a national convention in Abuja. Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Still on politics, the Social Democratic Party, SDP, has advised the National Assembly to further amend the nation's Electoral Act by scrapping the state electoral commissions. This was the position of the party at a media briefing in Abuja. Here again is Abdullahi Garba Kudu with the details.
Making reference to the recent local council election in Adamawa State, the party claimed that its candidate who won election in Lamorde was substituted with the candidate of the ruling party in the state. It therefore appealed to President Muhammad Buhari to extend his fight against corruption to the issue of electoral malpractices as the bane of good governance.
We always have this problem. It is either election did not take place in some places, it is either some people were beaten and all this ballot snatching of highest order. So I would also like to use this opportunity to call on the National Assembly or whatever authority is concerned to proscribe the state independent electoral commissions and let the INEC handle local government elections.
On Edo and Ondo governorship elections, the SDP said it is strategizing to win the two states. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Nigerians have been urged to exercise patience with the federal government as it intensifies efforts to ameliorate the current economic hardships. Director General, Voice of Nigeria, Von Osita Okechukwu, stated this when he received a delegation of the Buhari Friends Organization Network in Abuja. Joseph Johnson reports.
The Director General Van, Mr. Okechukwu, who enumerated ongoing plans by the federal government towards revamping the dwindling economy, attributed the perceived slow pace of government's action to the prudent and lawful implementation process of the 2016 budget.
We are not going to lose hope because we know today we have a president who will not take Nigeria's money to his pocket. And in the next few years, the change we'll talk about, you will see it alive.
The National Coordinator, Buhari Friends Organization Network, Athanasius Okun, while congratulating the DG Van on his new office, sued for collaboration.
For us to move forward as quickly as possible, those who have seen poverty, the ones who usually live with the poor and feel their pulse, with good qualifications, should be introduced into governance for the needed vibrancy that is presently lacking.
Mr. Athanasius further stressed the need for people-friendly policies on transportation, education, energy, and other essential services that are not of luxury. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Constructive engagement with other nations in science and technology development is the key to the fertilization of ideas for the achievement of any meaningful advancement in the sector. Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, at a meeting with the Israeli Deputy Chief of Mission to Nigeria, Nadan Goren, said Nigeria needs to open new windows of collaboration with technologically advanced countries for possible technology transfer.
We are planning a science, technology, and innovation expo. This will be a very, very big exposition that will involve not just the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, all research institutes in the country, all universities, all research laboratories.
The Israeli Deputy Chief of Mission, Nadan Goren, noted that Nigeria has huge potential of becoming the technology hub of Africa.
Officially desert, and the only way we overcame these challenges is through using technology and innovation. And I think a country that has that experience can share this experience, can share its knowledge, can share its innovation, and can share its technology with a country like Nigeria.
Science and correspondent Kiran Umayo reports that the meeting is part of steps being taken by the Ministry of Science and Technology to refocus science and technology and innovation in the country. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo has re-emphasized the need for Nigeria's media to uphold its role of promoting the national integrity, peace and unity through strict adherence to ethics of the profession. Chief Obasanjo stated these in a keynote address to the maiden NUJ National Summit in Abuja, Ogun State. Lekan Agbonde has the report.
The prosperity and continuous existence of any nation, no doubt, is hinged on unity and peace in such entity. Perhaps it was for this reason that media practitioners converged on Abeokuta for the maiden edition of the NUJ National Media Summit with the theme, The Media and National Unity. The former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, represented by one-time Executive Secretary, Nigerian University Commission, Professor Peter Okebukola, noted that Nigeria's journalists and other media practitioners must look beyond ethnicity, race, religion, and class and be veritable agents of good governance.
Our media organizations ought to serve as mediators and not instigators. We will all agree that it's better for us to use journalism and social media as a way to develop and not a tool for destruction.
The national president, Nigerian Union of Journalists, Comrade Abdul Wahid Odushile, highlighted the need for government and stakeholders to remove all constraints and impediments against the media in performing its constitutional responsibilities to the society. The Director General, Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, Malam Yakubu Mohammed, was represented by the Executive Director News, NTA, Mr. Shola Tere, at the occasion. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbode, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated former head of state, General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, as he turns 75 on Wednesday. President Buhari extolled General Babangida for his patriotic service to the nation and his commitment to Nigeria's unity. He prayed Almighty Allah to grant General Ibrahim Babangida many more fruitful years. When I joined Jennifer in Lagos for the report of the commencement of the airlift of pilgrims to Saudi Arabia, including the wife of Nigeria's vice president's flag-off of the guilt-involved campaign. Over to you, Jennifer.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Lagos State Government has commenced the airlift of pilgrims to this year's Hajj exercise in Saudi Arabia. Commissioner for Home Affairs Abdul Hakim Abdul Latif and officials of the National Hajj Commission were at the Hajj camp in Lagos to ensure a hitch-free inaugural flight. Musa Toliat completes the report.
The intended pilgrims had completed documentation and clearance processes in line with the guidelines for the performance of the Hajj. They were grateful to Allah to be counted among the first batch on the inaugural flight.
My expectation to the Hajj is to go and serve God.
My spiritual fulfillment, well, that's one of it.
My prayer to Nigeria is Nigeria to progress.
Commissioner for Home Affairs Abdulhakim Abdulatif at the last admission session before the airlift reminded them that smuggling kola nuts into Saudi Arabia has been criminalized and such offense attracts capital punishment.
In the spirit of the Holy Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad, we have been, taught them, and apart from that, they must not engage themselves in, acts that, constitute crime, whether in Nigeria or in Saudi Arabia.
The National Hajj Commission also carried out screening exercise in accordance with new rules and guidelines in Saudi Arabia.
Every pilgrim undergoes pregnancy tests, female pilgrims, and in so many parts of Nigeria, many pilgrims were removed, including some medical doctors that were pregnant. They were rejected because of pregnancy.
A total of 2,192 intended pilgrims will be airlifted in 6 flights within the next 3 days. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
The wife of Vice President Dolapo Oshibajo has flagged off the Get Involved campaign in Lagos, where she donated food items to the less privileged children. The wife of the Vice President, who was accompanied by the Committee of Wives of Lagos State officials, asked well-meaning Nigerians to contribute to the cause and make the society a better place. Dotun Ogunyemi tells us more.
The Get Involved program
which is an initiative of the President's wife, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, is expected to bring succor and smiles to children across the country as a way of giving back to society in whatever little way possible. Wife of the Vice President, Mrs. Dolapo Shibajo, the program was an integral part of President Buhari's administration plan to positively affect lives of children as they are future leaders. Lagos State Deputy Governor Dr. Idiat Adebile encouraged good-spirited individuals and corporate organizations to also get involved to boost government's effort. The program, which is expected to be a nationwide project, seeks to directly affect lives of children in all the 36 states of the Federation, including the FCT. In Lagos, Dotun Ogunyemi, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News from the Lagos Network Center. We have more stories ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this timeout. Stay tuned.
The government and amiable people of River State welcome the largest gathering of legal professionals in Nigeria to the 56th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association from the 19th to the 26th of August 2016 at the Alfred Delta Spieth Civic Center, Port Harcourt.
River State, the home of great legal icons, offers you unrivaled hospitality, good road network, business opportunities, and security.
Get ready to be pampered with a wide range of social activities, welcoming reception, dinners and cocktails, good entertainment, vibrant friendship center, and sufficient conference materials.
Don't miss this opportunity for an ideal family vacation in a serene environment after a profitable legal year.
River State awaits you at the 56th Annual General Conference of the Nigerian Bar Association in Port Harcourt from the 19th to the 26th of August 2016.
River State, better than imagined.
Everyday air. Ordinary air. And then there's TomTom air. There's air, and then there's TomTom air. What are you breathing? Hey, I just had a shower, but why do I still feel so hot and sweaty? Let me finish this, and I will show you something surprising. Let's take a look. See, heat means sweat. Sweat brings germs. Dettol 100 times cool. It removes germs to leave you feeling clean, fresh, and 100 times cool. Beat the heat and germs with Dettol 100 times cool.
Dettol, endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite top officials of state and local government pension commissions and boards to the 5th Roundtable Conference scheduled to hold from 22nd to 24th August 2016. The theme of the conference is Enhancing Better Record Keeping and Managerial Capacity for Effective Pension Administration. Venue, Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON. Conference fee, 70,000 Naira per participant. For further information, please contact Mr. A. Musa, Director of Studies and Head of Department, Local Government Studies. Telephone 003-718-5286 or 07051 111240.
M5 Plus with a 50-20 milliampere battery that lets you play for up to 3 days on a single charge. Gioni M5 Plus, always in power.
Still on to NTA Network News. Data released by the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that merchandise trade dropped by 23% in the first quarter of 2016. This and more with Chazala Mekie on Business News.
Good evening and many thanks for joining us. Figures from the National Bureau of Statistics indicates that consumer price index in Nigeria rose by 16.5% in June, giving rise to high food prices in many markets across the country. The impact of this has been worsened by the decline in income of buyers, as most staples and food items appears to be above the reach of most Nigerians. An expert says the solution is a comprehensive approach to address the remote causes of the current hike in food prices.
The federal government to put up an immediate policies that could ameliorate the situation, because the average civil servants are suffering. The take-home pay is no more able to sustain them for even up to 1 week.
Whether you are now in the civil service, in the military, or the police, please think of investing in agriculture. You may be too busy to run a poultry farm because you need to be there, but you can start a plantation. Invent your own future.
Similarly, merchandise trade data released by the National Bureau of Statistics in its latest foreign trade statistics for the first quarter shows a trade deficit of 1.8 billion, representing a 23% decrease from the previous quarter. The decline is attributed to oil production losses due to pipeline vandalism. Nigeria's import trade, however, stands at 1.5 trillion naira, 8% lower than the value recorded in 2015. Meanwhile, commodities such as oils, fats, waxes, and beverages contributed to the least to the total imports. And finally, a quick look at trading activities on the Nigerian stock market. That's the package at this time. I am Chia Zalameki. Network News continues. Thanks for watching.
The Kano Electricity Distribution Company says it will continue to complement government's efforts towards reducing the number of unemployed youths in the country. Managing Director of the company, Dr. Jamilu Isiaku Gwamna, stated this while inducting more than 1,000 newly recruited staff in Kano. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The Kano Electricity Distribution Company, PLC, is one of the 11 distribution companies privatized by the federal government as part of the Power Sector Reform Program implementation. The company covers Kano, Katsina, and Jigawa states. Like any other company, KEDCO has its own challenges, which include shortage of manpower skills, customer relations. It is for these reasons the company deemed it fit to recruit more staff to overcome these challenges. The managing director, Jamil Isaku Governor, advised them to be good ambassadors of KEDCO and be intimate with customers in order to achieve good results.
We view this as part of our not only social responsibility, but I think it is the right thing to do at this time. So we want to ensure that we bring in people that at least we pay, and then they will use that money to buy things in the market, and then the manufacturers will have more money to also produce more.
Jamilu Governor then assured its customers of enhanced service delivery, adding that the company will do everything possible to provide efficient distribution of power supply to the zone. Some of the newly staffed expressed optimism to move KEDCO to greater heights.
I'm going to prove myself worthy of being employed in KEDCO.
I'm willing to give my all, my very best, in order to see KEDCO achieve the greatness, the #1 distribution company it wants to become.
The Managing Director also used the occasion to unveil the company's regional offices. From Kano, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
From Kano to the seat of the Caliphate, Sokoto, where Zainab is standing by with the next story, which is the herdsmen and farmers. Hello, Zainab, over to you.
And welcome. Sultan Saad Abubakar III has described as laudable measures taken by Mieta Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria to eliminate frequent clashes between herdsmen and farmers across the country. Jabi Ilele Dabori has more.
Sultan Muhammad Sada Bakr III, who is also the patron of the association, lauded the current move aimed at bringing lasting solution to frequent clashes between herdsmen and farmers across the country. The Sultan tasked the committee to involve media peace campaigns that will pave way for easy reach and understanding to the target audience. National President of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Muhammad Kirwa, told the Sultan that they were in his palace to intimate him on the move to embark on active sensitization for peaceful coexistence among farmers and Fulani herdsmen across the nation. He said the campaign is under the auspices of the federal government that set up a committee to work assiduously towards ending incessant feuds between the two parties, as well as problems on cattle routes, grazing reserves, and ranching. The chairman said some of the committee members have visited Katsina, Zaria, Gombe, and Jigawa for the same purpose. In Sokoto, Jabelela Dabore, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to you, Kudu.
Thank you, Zainab. Delta State Governor Ifeanyi Okowa is eliminating inherent bottlenecks associated with acquiring legal titles for landed property, which have not been helpful to investments. Let's hear from Ifeoma Okafu.
Since March 31st, 2016, landed property owners in Delta State have been sleeping with their two eyes closed. Achieving this feat is hinged on a functional system by the Okowa-led administration known as Fast Track 90. It gives every landed property owner the opportunity to acquire his or her certificate of occupancy within 90 days. Commissioner for Information, Patrick Oka, stood in for the governor at the CFO presentation ceremony.
The Ministry of Lands, by the authority of the government of Senator Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, has made it possible for you to have authenticity as a consigned land ownership in this state.
So far, a total of 500 applicants have received their certificates of occupancy since the inception of the scheme in Asaba. Ifeoma Okafor, NTA News.
Overhead is Global Tidbits, Sports and Weather Prospects for Wednesday.
The 2016 Hajj operations in focus this week on NTA Tuesday Live as experts deliberate on innovations towards a smooth exercise. NTA Tuesday Live, incisive, educative, and informative. Don't be told.
The Chairman, National Convention Committee, His Excellency Nyesom Ezonwe-Wike, Governor of Rivers State, on behalf of the leadership of our great party, the People's Democratic Party, PDP, led by His Excellency Senator Ahmed Mohamed Makarfi, welcome all party leaders, delegates, supporters, and invited guests to the 2016 Repeat National Convention holding at Shark Stadium, Moscow Road, Port Harcourt, Rivers State, on Wednesday, 17th August 2016 by 10 a.m. May God bless you as you come. Chief Onyema Ugochukwu, Chairman, Publicity Subcommittee, Announcer.
Get ready to move on up with EcoBank. Easy access to your account wherever you are in the world. More ATMs across Africa than any other bank, so there's always one closer to you. The freedom to pay with a card instead of cash. To bank with your mobile anytime, anywhere. Or send money thousands of miles in a flash. Plus, smart ways to save and invest so your children can move on up too. And trust EcoBank to help with the things that matter most. Visit us online today and move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Xiaomi M5 Plus with a 50-20 milliampere battery that lets you play for up to 3 days on a single charge. Xiaomi M5 Plus, always in power.
We appreciate your remaining with NTA Network News. On the international scene, calm returns to Zambia's southern province after policemen arrest people protesting Egalungu's re-election as president. And China successfully launched the world's first quantum-enabled satellite. For this and more, let's join Chimdema Ndubisi on Global Tidbits.
Policemen in Zambia arrested 133 people protesting President Edgar Lungu's re-election. Key opposition leader had alleged that the election was rigged. The arrest helped quell the riot. And the World Health Organization has announced that no new cases of yellow fever have been reported in Angola and Democratic Republic of Congo, where about 400 people died of the disease. Yet, the British charity Save the Children believes yellow fever outbreak could spread from Angola and DRC to Europe, the Americas, and Asia. In Turkey, inquiry into last month's failed coup is ongoing, with the police raiding 44 companies and making moves to arrest 120 company executives. The companies are alleged to be funding the movement of a United States-based cleric, Fethullah Gulen, accused of masterminding the failed coup. In the meantime, the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon is rallying for a female to replace him. 5 women are part of the 11 candidates lining up to take over. That's Global Tidbits. Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
And in sports, Nigerian boxer Efe Ajagba set for quarterfinal showdown in Rio Olympics later this evening. And the 1996 Atlanta Olympics football gold medalist Austin Okocha charges Nigeria's under-23 football team to go for gold in Rio. This and more on Sports Update with Ayodeji Makinde.